Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello, and welcome to Inside Inspired Women. On the show, we're going to discuss the journey to inner peace and inspiration. And our goal is to encourage, uplift, and inspire women everywhere. I'm your host, Dr. Tabatha Russell. And on today, I have a very special guest. I have Miss Mary H. Davis. She is the CEO and founder of Own the Leader Within Leadership Academy. She's also a retired executive of one of the world's largest financial institutions. Miss Mary has over 30 years of experience in leadership, building high-performing teams and driving change. She's a transformational identity leadership coach and a speaker that helps high-achieving individuals who are overwhelmed and lack clarity on how to strategically transfer their skills to achieve success in life, career, and business to live on purpose. Because Miss Mary understands the challenges in accelerating success and navigating a career, she is committed to helping high-achieving individuals own the leader within by leaning into their unique purposes and talents, as well as leveraging risk management strategies to navigate successfully. Ms. Mary holds a bachelor's degree in accounting, a master's degree in psychology with a specialty in leadership and coaching, and is certified. Listen to this, guys, certified professional behavioral analyst. And she's also a motivator analyst and emotional intelligence analyst. She also has a diversity, equity, and inclusion certificate from Cornell University. Ms. Mary coaches and speaks from the three tenets: belief, intention, and identity. Well, let me just say that that is a worldwide amazing bio, Miss Mary. Thank you so much for being here today. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Tabatha Russell. It is a pleasure, and I'm so excited to be here with you and your listeners today. I'm just really ecstatic to be on this journey with you, and I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. So thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. I am excited about our session on today. I want to jump right in because just reading all of this amazing experience that you have, I want our listeners to be able to hear from you exactly what it is that you do. So share with us a little bit more about Miss Mary H. Davis Enterprises. What made you come up with that?
Well, so for me, it was always a part of the plan to do something different. Even when I was in corporate America, I just hadn't formulated exactly what that was. And one of the things that I realized is that, as you mentioned in my bio, I work for one of the largest financial institutions in the world. And one day I had the aha, like, this is it. I've always been searching for that thing that I need to do. But what I realized my role and the capacity and the influence that I had, I'm like, man, if I could teach other people to do this for themselves, that's leadership. That's making a difference when you equip people with new skills so that they can level up their lives and make not only the place where they are better, but influence change throughout the world. So I had that aha because one of the things I used to do when I was in corporate America was I did strategy in helping financial institutions, helping them navigate over 5,000 branches, telling them what they need to say, how it needs to look, helping them deal with the oversight and regulators, I was their mouthpiece and telling them kind of which way to move. You turn left, you turn right. And I had a very small team of highly paid consultants that do that. So we did a lot with a little, and it was because of the approach that I took with leadership and navigating success. And so I decided that, if I can do this for them and others, I want to teach other people how to do this. And that's how I came with Mary H. Davis Coaching in my enterprise of what I do with coaching, consulting in diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's how I came up with that. I just want to make a positive impact on the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I will tell you that that really does make a difference when you find that what you do and what you're great at, and you can turn around now and help others with that. That to me is just amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. So explain to us though about the DEI in that background, your diversity, equity, and inclusion. Explain to us what that is exactly.
So I do diversity, equity, and inclusion coaching and consultants with organizations. From a coaching perspective, I help individuals. I do inclusive coaching. That's one-on-one or in a workshop where I help them be more inclusive, to be an inclusive leader. What does that look and feel like? And from an organizational perspective, so I have a lot of background in risk management. And what I do is I help organizations do DEI assessments, not your standard DEI fluff and stuff. I call them fluff and stuff assessment, but real tangible assessments on how do you detect unconscious bias. Unconscious bias is like, well, it's not intended, but it's in that subconscious mind. Unconsciously, something is happening that impacts a certain group of people, certain individuals. So I help them to develop assessments, or I develop assessments that help them to detect where they have biases in their system, in their processes. And I do consulting and I do workshops with them doing the assessments and just to assess their organization and to determine where they are on the maturity model and where they need to be, and create a program and steps and actions for them to get to that level of maturity of that desired state for that organization.
That is amazing. So tell me this now, would you say that your specialty is businesses, or your specialty now is geared towards individuals more?
I would say, it's more of it's a combination, because here's how the blend. So I am a transformational identity leadership coach, and that is intentional, on purpose, because my specialty with individuals and leaders is getting individuals to own the leader within them. Whether you are in a corporation or you are an individual entrepreneur or just someone who works for a company, you achieve success by first understanding who you are. That's where that identity comes in, and leaning into that. And that is what will transform you. And you can lead yourself, and then you can lead an organization. So one bleeds into the other.
I love it. I love it. I do believe that we all have the opportunity to cause change and impact in whatever situation we're in, right? So I definitely like that you take it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Now, explain to us about your coaching program, because I did hear you say that it's Mary H. Davis Coaching as well as Enterprises. So that's just one module that you have under your enterprise. So explain to us what your coaching program is.
Yeah. So my coaching program, I kind of have different tiers to my coaching. Like from a DEI side, some people come to me, organizations, and they want their leaders to just have DEI coaching, diversity, equity, and inclusion. How to be more inclusive. What does that equity look like? So that's really geared towards the organization, but as an individual, my coaching program. So I have a 12-week coaching program called Own the Leader Within, because it's all about owning who you are. You can't lead a group of people or an organization if you can't lead yourself. That is why it's called Own the Leader Within. That's a 12-week coaching program. And what we cover is first identity, because you got to understand who you are, where you come from. Where you come from makes up a big part of who you are. We go through the different components of what identity is and how all of those different things make up your identity. You know, we look at your relationships, we look at your friendships, we look at your talents, your strengths, your gifts, and we go through a whole module of getting them to understand who they are and how they came to be who they are. That's the first step, because that's the biggest and most important step, because they need to understand that. And then we go through beliefs. So we talk about and have exercises where we go through identity. I would call it kind of like, this is the first part of the transformation, identity transformation, understanding all of those things that make them who they are. And then we go through that whole belief. What is it that you really believe in that? And we go through a series of exercises to help them check on what they really believe. You would be surprised at how many people say one thing, but their actions and words says something else. And we have conversation to expose, so to speak, of what the true beliefs are, and expose those beliefs that may be holding them back for being the leader that they are designed to be. So those are the two first modules that we go through in my coaching program, in that 12-week program. And then we also do assessments where we look at what's your talent, what's your strength. So, and this is really important, because once you understand who you are and how you impact not only yourself, but how you impact others, and what is it that you believe and how that impacts what you do, then we go through like, well, what is it that you're working with? Owning your talents, owning your strengths, going through the difference of what's the difference between a talent and a passion and a strength. So a lot of people don't know that, and we always spend a lot of time going through this exercise. And we will go through, which is my favorite, which is my strength, strategy. So what we do is strategies for individuals, for leaders. And this can be done in a group or individual. My coaching is a group program, but it is really geared towards the individual. And we come together and collectively talk about it as a group. And we have Q&A and questions to help them navigate. But it's building out a strategy. We talk about what makes up a good strategy, those components from a good strategy to lead yourself, to get yourself to that next level. And what I pull from is not only from my background, my educational background in my master's in psychology and leadership, but from my experience as an executive. What are the things that you look at when you're developing a strategy? I used to be that person that helped to contribute a significant part to the bank's strategy. So I bring some of that in and apply it to your individual life so that you can ensure that you hit that success that you're trying to achieve. Because there's nothing without, what's the word I'm looking for? There doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen, but in the financial world, it's all about risk management. How do we manage the risk that will keep us from achieving our goal? And we apply that in my coaching program to the individual success of like, what is it that we need to do to make sure you get to that level that you're trying to get to? If you are trying to navigate to a different position, you feel that you need to be paid more, we come up with the strategy for how do you navigate to that position and what does that look like? Now that you know who you are and we have a sound, firm check on our beliefs, we take that and we build out the strategy that you should consider. We look at the political environment. We look at a lot of things. I call it the pistol approach. We look at the political, the environmental things, the social things that's going on, technology. What do you need to know about technology? Do you need more technology skills? Do you need social media skills? Or do you need to know somebody in technology? It can be as simple as that. So we work on a lot of different things. We look at the legal environment. We look at the economic environment. I'm getting ready to prepare a course now on a summit on about the pending recession and how you perform. Well, like this, people are talking about the recession now, but coming from that financial background, I've been retired a little over 2 years, but I can tell you from that financial background, banks have been preparing for this for over 5 years and talking about it. So those are the things that I bring in to my course to help individuals succeed doing and achieving their success.
I will tell you, it sounds like you have quite a bit of information over there that people will learn on a regular basis. I'm like, wow, I might need to sign up so I can get some of that over there. I noticed in your bio, though, that you say that you work with high achieving individuals who are overwhelmed and lack clarity on how to strategically transfer their skills to achieve success in life, career, and business to live on purpose. Tell me, why does that stand out to you, and why do you want to work with such high achieving individuals?
So this gets into the identity part. One of the reasons why I selected high achieving individuals was one, because I was a high achieving individual. A lot of people, if you are a woman or a woman of color or just an individual, once you hit that 6-figure threshold, it's a game changer. But a lot of us making over 6 figures, what is it that you're doing to maintain that? What is it that you're doing to get that 6 figures? Are you throwing the baby out with the bathwater? What are you sacrificing? So that's what I want to do. You don't have to sacrifice the baby in the bathwater to get 6 figures or more. So my target is those people, not that I won't work with individuals that may not quite be at 6 figures, but my ideal client is those people who are doing that, but they are completely exhausted and just trying to maintain and to dig down and to get to understand why are they exhausted. So one of the things that I'm working with them, it comes from my own personal experience. What I realized is that I was working and working, making more money than I ever had, but I was completely exhausted. I am still unpacking stuff from 2 years, and I think everything just started to collide over a 3-year period. I was just telling my brother, I'm like, I'm decluttering. I was decluttering this weekend and last weekend. I say, this is stuff that has built up over 3 years or more, because I was just keeping the lights on, because that's all that I had the energy to do. Because for a short time, I wouldn't say that I lost myself, but it was pretty suffocating. It started to get pushed down because I was taught this is what you need to do to maintain and to hit that level. And it was another reason why I do diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting. I was going through, it's been a long time. So I've been on this journey for a while. I would say it's been over 15 years. But when I first recognized that I was starting to lose who I was, and my identity is so important, because if you don't know who you are, then you end up down a path that's not even meant for you. And then you wonder, how did I get here? I don't even like this job. Yeah, I'm making money. Matter of fact, I might not even like me because I've become somebody else. So I realized that I was starting to lose myself, and I was going through diversity training. And I was going through a couple of things happened all at once. I was going through diversity training because I was one of few senior women of color. I had the lucky joy of going through it multiple times for 5 days at a time. If you've ever gone through that type of diversity training. It was like being fire baptized, dipped in the water. It was intense. And it's emotional because diversity is an emotional and personal journey. So, and I felt like I had to defend all of the women of color and people of color at a certain level to just get a foot in the door. So it was me against them. And that's emotionally exhausting. So I was going through that training for a few days. And at the same time, I saw this picture. I don't know if you've never seen it. It has a name. I cannot think of the name of it, but it's a white mask, a masked woman. It's a masked woman of color. And all you can see is the brown of her skin through the mask in the red lipstick. I was so exhausted from going through the training. I looked at that picture. I saw it in my neighbor's home, and it just had a profound effect on me. And all I could see is like, this is me in that mask. I'm hiding, and I felt like you're in a white man's world, but you are an African American woman, and you're struggling and you're losing yourself because you're trying to be like them, because that's what I was taught. So that's when I had that realization that I needed to change, and I was losing myself. I didn't have the full plan baked out, but I knew I needed to change, and it had to start with me. That's what it's just like, that's where the identity comes from. That's where the transformation comes from. And I started on this journey of transforming and owning my authentic self.
I love it. I love it. I think that at the end of the day, we really owe it to ourselves to get to our true authentic selves, right? And I know that sometimes that journey for most of us can look completely different. Like we could be on the same road, but the obstacles, like the little pitfalls that we could potentially fall in, could potentially be in different places along our way. So I like that you do the DEI training as well as being a transformational identity leadership coach. That definitely takes things to a whole new level. So I would say, I heard you say something about in one of our conversations about the importance of having a network. Talk about that a little bit, because I know that you're huge on networking. So tell me how that could play a part into us getting to our true identity and being our authentic selves.
Absolutely. So one of the things I didn't say, so in my 12-week course, I cover identity, we cover emotional intelligence, we cover navigating, which is a big relationship piece. And we talk about networks and relationships. I speak about it from a social capital standpoint, and we talk about the strategy that goes with that and having a personalized roadmap. I think that's in a sum total that may cover the major components of my coaching program. And that networking piece comes in. So I intentionally don't really call it network. I call it social capital, because you can have a network and a network will get you nothing. It is the strong relationships that you have that will get you everything. It is the social capital. And social capital is access. So it's more than just having a network of people, but it's about having relationships with the network of people and what type of relationships. So we go into teaching about what is social capital, or how do you build social capital? How do you use your network to build social capital? Because when you have social capital, you have access to the people, access to information. And what I teach is that your network is infinite. A lot of people say, I don't have a network. I only know so many people. Your network is infinite. And this is what I teach in my coaching program. Your network is not only the people that you know, but the people that they know, and 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 so on and so on. It is infinite. It really is. That is something that I believe, that is something that I've known to be true. But what I've realized is that people don't know how to go from network to strong relationship, how to go from network to social capital. It is a skill and an art. And that is what we focus on, building strong relationships. And how do you go about doing that? What do you need to be doing to build a strong relationship? Well, it all starts with service. Dr. Martin Luther King put it so eloquently, like everybody can be famous, but not everybody can be great. You can be, but everybody can't be famous. I said that wrong, but everybody can be great. And you are great through service of what you do, no matter what that service is. So when I meet people, I'm always trying to see, how can I be of service to them? This is my prayer at night, and sometimes during the daytime, in the middle of the day, depending on if I know I have someone in my network that's going through certain times, I'm sitting and thinking is like, how can I be of service to them? And it doesn't mean that they have to be on bad times or having hard times, just to pour into them, to be a gift to them with my natural gifts and talents. So it is doing that. It's reciprocity. What you put in is what you get back.
Oh, I believe it. I tell you what, this is really good here. I like how you say social capital and how your network is infinite. Like, because it really causes you to now think outside of the box, right? Traditional networking says, okay, this is my circle of influence, right? Like my circle of people, but we're no longer going on a traditional pathway or trajectory. We're outside of the box, right? Like if nothing else, we've seen where things have changed over the last couple of years to where we definitely have endless possibilities of being able to do stuff. So tell
And I
me
would even
about,
say that it's easier now that we're in this hybrid environment. Some people say that it's more difficult, but it's actually easier. I've made more connections since COVID than I would have if I was in person everywhere.
wow. Wow. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it because it's now forcing us to use our resources, use our tools, right? Because we're not in the office every day. We're not doing the face to face. We have access to social media as well as these platforms like Zoom to where we could be talking with people around the world on a regular basis. So I love
Absolutely.
that we have this opportunity to be able to do that. So I noticed that you said that you have a specialty in leadership and coaching. What made you want to also include that as part of your focus? I know with being an executive, you're used to being in a leadership role, but why is that important to the average person to have leadership in their arsenal of gifts and talents or skills, we'll say?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, you can't lead if you can't lead yourself. It starts with you. So that means if you want any amount of success, you got to have some leadership skills. I focus on leadership in coaching. I was already a leader, but I wanted to also validate what I didn't know that I thought I knew, and vice versa. Because you all know, and we've all had them, not every leader is a good leader. Some of them are just managers or taskmasters, but leadership to me is like when you can make a difference right where you are, when you influence change, whether you have a team or if it's just you can influence change. I took pride in being able to move an organization that had 11.9 trillion in assets, and I only had a team of 5, and I can make them move like I wanted them to move because I leveraged my social capital. That's a part of leadership, and I tapped into that. So I tapped into the other executives and understanding what their need, and I was of service to them. That's how I got them to move and create change, not only for the organization, but for the people that were working with me and around me. That's leadership.
I
And
love it.
that's why I focus on leadership and coaching. The coaching is high performance. Coaches help you get to that next level. Coaches help you perform at a level beyond what you think you can do. Getting to that next level, pushing beyond what you believe. That's why I focus on the coaching. And I wanted to spend some time really concentrating on coaching, because you can go and get a certificate. Most certificates or certification, you pass an exam or whatever and you go on. But when you're doing it at the master's level, a master's degree is all about application. And it's intense studying on that part of it. And combining that with the basis of my master's in psychology, understanding people, the behaviors. To me, that would give me more than any coaching certification that you would need, because you understand the psychology of the human being first. So that you, and then you're taking your techniques from a coaching to make that human being perform at a level that they can't even conceive at the time. So that's how you transform. And you have people look back and like, I didn't even know I could do this. I say that now. I was like, I'm a whole different person. I tell my husband, I'm like, dude, you got a whole corporation right here in one wife. Yeah, that's what he does too. He laughs.
I love it. I love it
Yeah.
though, because you see how with you helping individuals that you've evolved and how you've used all of your skills to basically now turn that around and serve others. And I think that that is amazing that you're able to do that.
I look at it as part of my purpose. So one of the things that I teach is God gives us, for me, it's God, that we're all divinely and uniquely made. And we all need to be focusing on these talents that you have and your gifts. Are you using them to your best ability? One, are you hitting your full potential? And if that answer is no, then you need to do some internal work. And through my course, we help them do some internal work of understanding the power of you and what you can do and how you alone can make a difference as a leader. You don't have to manage 100 people, 1,000 people. You alone can make a difference. I'm amazed. I still am amazed of what I've accomplished and moved and influenced. People didn't report to me, and they were making way more than me. I made a pretty penny, but they made a whole lot more. And I would always get so tickled when I can get things to move and create change.
That in itself is amazing when you can see change happening all around you, right? That should be our goal. We should be people of influence to some degree. So tell me what's next for Mary H. Davis Enterprises? What's next for you?
Well, I have a lot of things in the burner, working on a couple of things, but I'll be doing the very next thing that I have coming on October 3rd is my Navigate Your Career Masterclass. We've run this a couple of times, and it's really what we're teaching people to do is how do you navigate at a high level your career. If you're at point A, but you want to be at point C, D, or E, what are some things that you can do to better navigate to get you to where you want to be? So, and that's a free masterclass that we offer. And then we're going to be having a boot camp coming up, 5-day workshop, and a summit coming up. We have lots of activities coming up in October. But October 3rd is our very next thing, which is the Navigate Your Career Masterclass.
Awesome. I will tell you, I love hearing that you have so much going on over there. And I just know that people are going to be changed, right? Like that's the whole premise behind this. And I love the name, Own the Leader Within Leadership Academy. I love that. So how can our listeners follow you to get some more tips as well as stay abreast of all the stuff that you have going on?
So the first thing they can do is follow me on my social, all of my socials, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I am at Mary H. Davis Coaching. And that's the same thing on Twitter also. So it's all the same. And the first thing to get a taste of what we're all about, sign up for the free masterclass at navigateyourcareermasterclass.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And one last word, what would you like to leave with our listeners on today on what they should do as far as owning the leader within?
To own the leader within, the first thing they need to do is to look within and just own who you really are. That is so powerful. Just own all of you, the flaws, the good thing and the bad thing, because I realized that a lot of my strongest points, that my strongest traits come from the failures or the bad things, that perceived bad things that happen. Own all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly. Look inside and own you and figure out how to use that to empower you to make a difference in the world. Start within. That's my advice to your leaders. Start within, because you are a beautiful thing. We're all made divinely unique. I love that. When I got that concept, we are all uniquely and divinely made. That's powerful. That is so powerful. So our role in life is to take that uniqueness and make a difference in the world. Start within. Appreciate uniquely you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am beyond thankful for you being on the show today. You are a great wealth of knowledge when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as being a transformational identity leadership coach. I have thoroughly enjoyed hearing about your academy, Own the Leader Within, and all that you are doing to serve people. I will tell everybody to go ahead and follow Miss Mary H. Davis on all her social media handles. And I look forward to having you on the show again. We'll definitely have to do this again because I want to hear some more about what you have going on over there. You talked about master classes and having a 5-day workshop as well as a summit. Man, it sounds like you got a lot going on in the camp of the Davis over there.
Yeah,
And
Camp Davis has a lot going on.
yes. Yes. So thank you so much for joining me on today. And we will definitely do this again. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Russell. Thank you for having me. And it was definitely my pleasure. And I welcome the opportunity to come back as we roll out new things. My whole goal, our enterprise at Mary H. Davis, we want to make everybody a leader so that we can make a positive impact in the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Until next time, remember, inspiration comes in many forms, so look for it, embrace it, and most of all, inspire others. Take care.